Okay, so first of all, tell me your when were you born? What's your birthday?
12/12/26.
Okay, and what's the earliest memory that you have?
Trying to be able to reach the light switch on the wall.
And how old do you think you were?
Well, maybe 4 or 5.
So you don't remember anything before the
These
age of
buttons
that?
you push, everybody could turn the light on, but me, I couldn't reach it.
That's interesting. Okay, so tell me about what you remember about your parents when you were really little.
Well, I really had about 10 parents. I was the baby of the family, so they all mothered me.
Okay, so who do you think was your primary
Eileen,
care? And how much older was Eileen than you?
6 years.
Okay, and how did Eileen come to live with you guys?
Her father, my mother's brother, Dave, came over and said that my wife ran off and left me and I can't handle her. I gotta work. So my mother said one more chicken in the coop won't matter.
How long did Eileen live with you, your family?
Until she grew up.
So she never went back to live with her dad then?
Well, yeah, I visited him. He worked at OG Shoe Store.
But did Eileen ever live with him at any point after that?
Well, he had no way to take care of her. He was
Okay.
always shacking up with some lady.
And how was her relationship with him because of that?
She loved every man.
Really?
If a junk man went by, she said, "Daddy!"
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. It's a child's misconception.
Did she resent her father because of that? Or was she okay with him?
I don't think so. No, she didn't
Okay.
show any resentment.
So what do you remember about your mother when you were little?
Oh, my mother had hot flashes.
Oh, and she told you that?
Oh, well, she said it. I heard it.
Oh, you heard
I don't
it.
know who she told to.
Okay.
Probably to deaf heaven.
How old was your mother when you were born?
44.
And what else do you remember about her?
My father was 53.
And your father was 53.
And he was so proud of having a baby at 53. And as I look back at it now, I realize he wanted to prove it was true, so he took me to his workplace.
What do you remember about that?
The bridge going up. And the cogwheels on the printing press.
And where did he work?
Cuneo Press.
And what did he do?
He was a pressman
Did he work there for a long time?
all his life. He worked there from 14 years old on.
So that was the only job he ever had?
Printing, yeah.
And
If
so
you generalize it in terms of printing,
Printing.
that's all he knew.
and so what else do you remember about your parents when you were really young?
Troubles of the 30s.
The
Things
Depression.
were bad. The Depression was on, and the war came along.
So you remember the Depression as being difficult because of lack of money.
Yeah, I knew that everybody was hard pressed.
And, well, okay, so your parents were older when you were born, and so your siblings probably took care of you quite a bit.
Quite a bit. The girls all did. Lila, look at that beautiful lady there.
So what do you remember about your sisters taking care of you?
They were very concerned about me.
So they always looked out for you.
Yeah.
Now, when you were born, your oldest sister, Myrtle, was 18 years old, right?
That's right.
So did you know her that well? Did she live at home long after that?
She was a beautiful lady, you know. She was just another parent.
Another parent.
Everybody was my parent.
And the siblings that you remember having the most contact with, who would they be?
Eileen. She was my babysitter.
She was your regular babysitter. Okay, can you name all your siblings from the oldest on down?
Myrtle, Arthur, Harvey, Lila, Harriet. I think Howard comes next, and then Norman, and then me.
And Eileen fell.
Eileen is right in between Howard and me.
Okay. And any particular memories of you being really young with your siblings? Like any funny memories, or like did you
Mostly with Eileen, yeah, we were pals.
did you guys like do things that were maybe kind of mischievous, or like what?
Oh, we would juggle eggs in the kitchen.
Oh, I bet your mom didn't like
Not
that.
really juggle. My mom was never home.
Where was she?
My mother referred to her as a social butterfly.
Your mother was a social
If
butterfly.
anybody on the block was going somewhere, she'd say, "Would you take me downtown?"
Did she not drive?
Oh no, my father didn't either.
So your family never had a family car.
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, that had her trapped.
Yes.
So any car that was leaving, even me when I was going to work later on, she'd say, "Larry, on your way to work, could you take me downtown?" I said, "Ma, downtown is 12 miles east of here.
Exactly.
I would never get to work on time."
People that don't drive don't realize, they don't understand direction that well, and they don't understand
know
that
your
things
problems.
aren't right. They don't understand that things are
Yeah.
not near other things. So your family never had a family car. And where did you live when you were a small child? What was the
1532 North Avers Avenue, roughly Avers and North Avenue.
And was that the house that you lived in your entire childhood?
Oh, I loved that house. It had a talking doorknob
Really?
on the bathroom. Every time you touched it, it said, "I'm in here,"
Because you only had one bathroom
Yeah.
for how many people?
for about 12.
Which made it kind of difficult, I would think.
Impossible.
Now, when you were born, were all the children living at home at that time?
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine as you got older, several of them started moving away.
Yeah, Myrtle moved to California.
How old was she when she moved to California? Do you remember her very much being at home or
I
not?
remember how pretty she was and how beautiful her bedroom smelled.
Perfume, I bet.
Yeah, her and Lila slept in the front bedroom. On the table there is a picture of the little house on Avers Avenue. It's so charming and so small for so many a house.
How many bedrooms did that house have?
Well, it all depends on what you think of as a bedroom. It had one big room upstairs that served as a bedroom for Howie, Normie, and I. And Harvey slept in the back bedroom till he went in the Army, which wasn't long. And Myrtle and Lila slept in the front bedroom, which had a mirror on the front of the door.
Okay, and
So
then
it had some nice features, even though it was a small house.
and then is there anybody else, or what about Eileen?
Eileen lived wherever she could find a place.
So she would sleep in various bedrooms.
I don't know. I can't identify one bedroom with her. She often worked for Estelle,
Okay.
and that meant that she was housed over there for a while.
How old was she when she did that?
Oh, 6.
That young?
Well, her
Really?
dad,
Right.
wife left him.
So she lived with you guys, but not all the time.
Well, she would get jobs as a caretaker for other people's children when she was young.
Okay, so she babysat a lot.
She had 6 years advantage over me.
Right, so she
So
had a
that's
lot of
quite a
little
bit.
ones. Interesting. And your parents, I take it, had a bedroom, right?
They shared the big bedroom with Normie, Howie, and I.
So you were there's 5 of you in one bedroom, in one
Yeah.
big bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a
I
pretty
could hear my mother and father doing it.
this was a pretty small house for that many
Well,
people.
I didn't know what they were doing, but they were making a lot of noise.
And did this house have 2 floors
Yeah,
and a basement?
yeah.
And you lived in this house until you went into the Army. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so when you were very little, what were things that you liked to do? Say when you're, before you go to school, you're 4 or 5 years old. What did you
Well, I
like to do?
played with the girl next door, Margie Haas. we played like little kids do.
Right, right.
You know, you show me yours and I'll show you mine.
Were
We
there a
didn't
lot?
tell our folks that.
Right.
And her mother was very wary of her getting involved.
Were there other kids on the block to play with?
Well, Margie Haas was one, and well, she was right next door to me, so
That was who you played with
naturally
mostly?
we're friends.
Do you remember any other children on the block?
The Gretsch family. Later on, the man that sold girdles and bras down the street, his name was Gretsch, and his daughter's name was Hermine.
Okay.
Hermione. Yeah.
Right. Was this the area that you lived in at that time?
North at Crawford.
Right. This was near North and Pulaski, right?
Yes.
Was this a Jewish area? Were there all different ethnicities of
Yes.
people there?
There were some Jewish people there. There was a policeman lived right next door to us. His name was Dave Weber. And he was a filthy mouth guy you never had heard talk.
Really? And what was he, like a crabby man that would yell at children
Well,
and
he
things like
was
that?
proud of being a policeman, and he let you know it.
Okay, so he wanted to keep people in line.
Well, mostly his wife, who was his sweetheart.
Oh, well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it was.
And so this was
Women did not have it good.
no.
Not till the war got going.
And then
Rosie the Riveter
Right.
led the way.
then they did a lot of the jobs that the men were doing because the men were gone.
They were dependent on their husband for everything.
Right.
And the husband let them know it.
Really, very interesting.
Yeah.
And you noticed that even as a child, were you
No.
aware of that, or you just?
No, I understood.
Okay, I'm going to
it
stop
later.
for now.